Hello, Enlightened22 here, and welcome back to my favorite server. Today, we are starting a new project, and we're standing on top of a hill. So, behind me is a little house that's a work in progress. You can't really see it through the tree, but there's a house over there, right by the ocean. And here's the villager breeding tower. Villager breeding tower. This is within view distance of that house that we made yesterday in the last episode. So, that sort of gives you a reference of where we are. We're pretty close to everything else. But today, we're going to be focusing on this valley right here. This is going to be a brewing factory, or a potion factory. I mentioned last episode that I wanted to make a potion room inside of the fort. I started playing around with that. I was going to do that today, but then I realized my plans and vision was way too big for that fort. I had way more planned. So we're going to make a major, huge brewing factory for the entire server. And right here you can see... Okay, maybe you can see. We'll see if we can open the chest. But we have materials, a bunch of materials. This is going to take a ton of redstone, ton of rails, ton of iron, ton of gold. That is not good at all. I'll be right back with you. And we're back. I'm not sure what that was there. I just logged back in and it's all good. So this is the chest. Bunch of redstone, gold. Well, not much of redstone at all. We'll need a ton more of all this stuff, but this is enough to get us started. So let's show you what the plan is. So my vision for this is to have a bunch of individual brewing stalls. This is going to be completely different than any automated brewing system I've ever seen. Because being me, I can't do the same thing as someone else, can't just copy it. I have to go overboard and come up with something entirely new. So let's get started here. I'll try to build this on camera with you guys. So first, this hopper's the output, and we have the brewing stand. This is the ingredient input, and right over here will be the input of the water bottles or whatever bottles are going in. And like I said, this is a single ingredient brewing station. So that's not a little bit. That's a lot different than any other system you'll probably ever see. Because, to be honest, it's not the most efficient thing to do. And I forgot redstone. Now, I do have a couple reasons for choosing it. The two main ones is... Let's actually step back before I build this and explain my overall vision. I'm bad about not doing that and just jumping in blindly. And let's get away from the portal. So my goal here is to make this big factory, and we want one relatively small room. Optimally without walking. I'm sure we'll have to move a little bit, but you can do three things from this room. You can order up potions and have them start brewing. Every potion in the game. And these potions will be delivered to you, so you'll have your storage in this room as well. So you can collect whatever potions you need. And the final thing is there'll be an item refill, so if any of the ingredients are out. Let's say we're out of nether wart. You just walk over to a chest, place the nether wart in, and it immediately gets reloaded into that little nether wart station. To do all of this automation, we'll be doing minecarts, and if I do this correctly, it should look really cool, have redstone minecarts just all over the place, and looking crazy and awesome. That's the hope, at least. I'm sure it will come out good. Come out well. Bad grammar. And the reason this individual brewing stations are nice is, first we'll have the awkward potions brewed in one of these. Those will be sent out to all the secondary ingredients. And then there's finally the tertiary, which is the fermented spider eye, redstone, and glowstone. And a standard brewing system, you'd have to have glowstone and redstone stocked in every stall. So I would need that stocked 8 times to do all of this. But with this, I only need to stock it in one location, which changes the logistical complications. So hopefully it works out well, and yeah, I've got this one stall built though, and I'll build it with you on camera. So this is a really simple item sorter here. we'll need to put in, let's just use these for now, 22, yeah, 22 items. Yep, if you notice, when there's 22 items, this repeater right here isn't on. Add 20, that one extra, and it turns on. And it needs to be an item that doesn't go into the hopper, or into the brewing stand. I should also bring up, I've watched a bunch of tutorials, so there will be similarities. I know I've seen Ethos, both of his brewing setups. I've seen a Tango Tex and a number of miniature ones, just to get all these ideas, but this isn't taken directly from anyone. So just wanted to make that clear. So if you see me repeating something, no, every idea here isn't completely original. Now what we have here is a... well, I'm just building this on camera, and for you Redstone people, but we have a comparator fader, or a fade clock. I don't know the technical term for it. It is important. This comparator here needs to be pointed this way, and this one pointed the other way. Their orientation does matter a lot, because that. Oh, a little thing. So you notice how it fades. That's the idea. These need to be on subtract mode, so when you take away power, it fades to a stop, which is pretty cool. And to make that work perfectly, yep, we need that there, there, and finally we run Redstone. It needs to go 4 blocks, which makes the fade the perfect length for all of these potions, all the bottles to exit and go into that. Words. All the potions to, yep, drop out of the brewing stand and into the hopper, which is what we want. Now, of course... oh, yep, so 4 blocks from here. That's why the orientation of this matters. I got confused for a moment. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeater, so that strengthens the signal. And then it goes up here, inverted for that. And this this hopper will go, zombies, no, leave me alone, I'm trying to explain stuff. That is wrong. And I believe that was it. And that is your entire system right here. I'm not a huge... come on. Don't find being super compact a huge deal, but something like this, where I think we need 14 of these pods, it is a big deal. So this is a 4 by 5 footprint, so it's relatively compact. I'm sure there are smaller, or ways to make this smaller. I'm not too concerned about it. So let's jump off. I'll sleep through the night, and I'll get you set up show you a test and make sure it works. I've collected a whole bunch of mobs here. Yep, been running around all night killing zombies. This is probably only a quarter of the zombies I've killed tonight. It's a bit ridiculous. But, yep, I'm all ready to show you the stuff once all these people die. They're not people, they're dead. You're dead to me. Okay, let's take care of this. Sword time. Okay, I'm almost dead, even with my armor. Ah! So many zombies. Whew. Okay, we made it through that. So let's check out this, now that I've got it fully set up. Let's just get started. So these are all water bottles. They go into this chest. They'll output to this chest. The brewing stand has 64 nether wart in it. That's probably the one disadvantage, the biggest disadvantage at least, about this design, is you need to keep 64 of whatever ingredient in it at all times, which is fine for stuff like nether wart, bit annoying for gas tiers. We're rich, I'm fine with it. There's one nether wart here with the 23 other items, and then all the extra will be up there and array going up. So let's watch this as it finishes. You'll see it cycle through perfectly. Timing is actually just right, so these will empty out, and right when those finish emptying out, so this torch turns off, allowing those 3 awkward potions to empty out. Right when that finishes, And this will get, this will get powered, locking this. And right when that finishes emptying, this gets unpowered, filling it on up, and returning to brewing. There's two main ways I figured to do this design. It would either be like I did here, which I prefer, hence using it. The other thing would be using a clock. Now the issue with the clock is it has two states. So like this hopper on, this one off, and this one on, this one off. But you spend 20 seconds at each state, unless you do a whole big clock, which that takes up too much space. But you spend 20 seconds at each state, which means you're spending almost 20 seconds with the brewing stand just empty and being completely useless. Which to me, I like to optimize it, and I want my brewing stands working constantly, which this design does. The only drawback, once again, is you need more ingredients, but I think that's worthwhile. So now that makes sense. Oh, also, my idea for the interior, sort of the visual, grass blade breaking, is to have this. A bunch of these along one wall, because this is the most appealing side of it, I think. I'll look a little bit more once I start setting it up, but I'll be setting up a layout of these to just get an idea of how big this is and make it easier to explain the next step in this process. Here's the foundation for the potion factory. So let me try to explain this to the best of my ability. So right here, all of these little squares, there's 7 of them per side. So 14 in total, and that's all of the ingredients that go into potions. Like every potion possible. And I'll just have to build 14 of these little systems. And then this said that too many times. The entrance, this is the area that all the work is done from. It's right here. Now I want to make it clear. This is just a rough estimate. It might be bigger, might be smaller. The path in between is 9. I want to make it clear. This building, once it's complete, you don't ever have to go outside of this area. That's the idea. Like, this whole back area is not necessary to ever go to. It can all be controlled from here. But, even so, I want a nice walkway. I want it to look cool back here, because there's going to be minecarts everywhere, redstone, just all sorts of cool stuff going on. So I do want it to look fun and be somewhere to look around, just for the sake of looking at all the craziness happening. Also, the building, when it's finished, won't be nearly this thin, because there's going to be a lot of redstone and carts back here, so it's probably going to go out to here on either side, which will make it bulk up a bit and be a more normal shape. And, yep, just so, now that we have it laid out, to make it a little bit more clear, this is the control room, so what I want is basically minecart bays. So lots of minecarts and lots of redstone wires going into here to give you all sorts of indications. I'll go over those in a little bit once I have a better idea of exactly all the functions I want. I want a ton though, and I'll probably be adding them on until this thing's done. But I'll have all of those minecarts, and that's what's going to interact. Minecarts and redstone is going to interact with this whole factory area while you're in there. And yeah, I hope that made sense, and this looks interesting. Looks like something you want to watch, because I'm excited to build this and start getting to work. Yep, I'll come back with you when at least a little bit more is done. Small progress update. Got half of these cells or brewing stations done, so 7 of the 14 stations are done. And we're already out of redstone. If you remember the beginning, we had over 27 blocks of redstone when we started, and that's all gone into these 7 brewing stations. And this isn't even starting where we're going to have lines of redstone running from the control room all the way to the back. Multiple lines, whole bunch of them. So this build is going to take an absolutely tremendous amount of redstone, but unfortunately the witch farm isn't fully functioning yet because that huge hole still needs to get cleared out. So that leaves us with only one other way to get redstone on the server. Look at all that redstone we've gathered. I will say, we actually did take the redstone from Mew, but it wasn't stealing it. He gave us permission for it, so that's awesome. Huge shout out to him. And I've forgotten to mention, this seems as good a time as any. He has started uploading videos at Meow Wow. I'll even type that out for you because I want you guys to see him. No explanation. That's his name. And that's his YouTube channel. So check him out, see some more videos on our server. But this is the stack of redstone he gave us, plus just over 64 blocks. Well, quite a bit more than 64 blocks, so that's a tremendous amount of redstone. This redstone here I did mine myself. Look at all that work I put in, doing so much. But yeah, again, Mew, huge thanks. And this sort of, I've mentioned before, but we are a communal server, so when Mew, well, I was talking to him, like, I need tons of redstone. He's like, wait, is this for the community? I'm like, yeah. Oh, sure, you can have all of my redstone. And I left him a stack and a half, so he does have some redstone if he needs it. But he's not doing much with redstone currently, and he wants to see the server grow. That's sort of the plans for this server, being a communal one. So, yes, once again, thank you, Mew. And just to put in perspective, this is all the redstone I got from my own personal mining. This is the 6 diamond blocks. Really? I've been seeming to get so unlucky with diamonds on the server, but oh well, we got the donation. Well, Ronnie was just considering gave it to me for personal use, which was very helpful and helped my diamond situation, so this just supplements it a bit more. Enough chit-chat, let's mine this all up and I'll show you what we got. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Look at all that redstone. Obviously, mined up all that redstone ore, got over 8 stacks of redstone blocks. That's probably over 4,500 redstone. The sad part is that also probably won't be enough. I'd like to point out this little bit, just over a stack of blocks. That was donated by Brony. He got on the server while I was mining out the blocks, and he was like, hey, you're looking for redstone? I'll give you some as well, and very helpful. Thanks again. Got 10 diamonds. Also, I did a whole bunch of resource gathering. I picked up all these iron blocks from our farm, and got a whole bunch of sandstone, and got a bunch of clay. Most of it was already mined out, though, from the witch farm and from the fort, because both of them are in swamps. Lots of clay. Sandstone, clay, hardened clay, all of these will be our building materials for the final design. Obviously, iron is necessary for all the hoppers, plus I want to put redstone on iron, just because it looks nice. A whole bunch of wood, well, a fair amount of wood. We'll be getting a whole bunch, and chests burn through wood so fast, so this is definitely not going to be enough, but it will get us started. And lots of miscellaneous, like redstone things, so cobblestone for pistons, stone for all the repeaters, quartz for comparators, and gold, because we're going to be using lots of minecarts. Hopefully all these resources I showed you will be enough to get most of this build done. I think this will get us a very, very large portion of this build done. And the reason I want to gather them all first is because there's nothing more annoying than being in the middle of building, being in the flow, and then being like, well, I'm out of stone. Let's run over here, pick up some stone, get back. Oh, now I'm out of iron. Oh, now I'm out of redstone. So hopefully that will keep us set for a while and we can just build. And now that we have all the materials, the 2 things I want to do are finish adding in all of these brewing stations and also putting in a floor just so there's a nice surface to work off of rather than all these little hills and stuff. But I'll go do those and show you once I'm done. Oop, there's a tree in the way, but got a bit of the floor done. However, I stopped because I got an idea that might be changing up what we're doing. Might be making a pretty significant change. However, I'm going to wait for next episode to do it because it's going to take a while to figure it out and go through I want to just walk through the redstone process with you guys, show you sort of how to do redstone and how the thought process goes. But again, it will take too long, so we're saving that for next episode. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.